math, walang maiiwan. Math-sayang Math-aral tayo ng Math-tuto, upang ika'y umasenso. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina, 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 Math-aral na tayo.
A while ago, we have listened to the advanced lesson for Quarter 3, Week 3 of Mathematics 8 CLAID Learning Module. We will now have the advanced lesson for Quarter 3, Week 3 of Mathematics 9 CLAID Learning Module. Our next instructor is a graduate of Rizal Technological University with a degree of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics in the year 2013. He is now on his third year in service at Eulogio Rodriguez Integrated School. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Rafaelito O. Jimenez.
Hello, good day. Ayan, ako po ang presenter natin ngayong araw na ito. At ang i-represent ko po o i-discuss ko ngayong araw na ito, it's all about the CLAID module, Quarter 3, Week 3. Ayan. Ayan po, these are the topics in the Quarter 3. Proves the Midline Theorem and proves theorem on trapezoids and kite. Ayan. Ang objectives po natin ngayon ay state the definition and proves the triangle midline theorem. Second, apply the midline theorem in finding the unknown. Third, state, illustrate, and prove theorems on trapezoids and kites. Fourth, apply the theorem on trapezoid and kites in finding the unknown. Okay, let's start. Magsisimula po tayo sa triangle midline theorem. Medyo madami po kasi ito, kaya simulan na po natin kagad. Yan. The triangle midline theorem state that the segment that joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and is as long. Now, I'm not going to prove this on two-column proving. Kasi po, since nasa module na natin yun, hindi ko na po siya ipoprove ng ganon din. Katulad dito. I'm going to i-illustrate ko na lang po itong triangle midline theorem on the application GeoGebra. Yan, tignan nyo po. Yan. This is the GeoGebra. Tapos, ang una ko pong gagawin is mag-create ako ng polygon na may 3 sides, which is triangle. Yan. Example. This one. Gawin natin eksakto lang. I-move lang natin to. Ayan. Second, ang gagawin ko po, kukunin ko po yung midpoint ng tatlong sides ng ating triangle. Side AB, kunin natin yung midpoint. Ayan, naging D. Sa BC naman is yung E. Tapos, sa AC, yan, yung F. Midpoint D, midpoint E, and midpoint F. Now, paano ko naman nalaman na midpoint sila? Kunin po natin ngayon yung distance. From D to D, yan. D to B, yan, 2.5. A to D, that is also 2.5. So, D is midpoint. Tignan po natin dito. B to E, E to C, and C to F, F to A. Yan. Sabihin po, lahat po, si si point D, point E, and point F are midpoints. Kasi po, yung sukat nila is equal lang. Yan. Burahin po muna natin sa isa. Then, start na po tayo. Sabi sa theorem, ito po yung sabi sa theorem dito, segment that joins the midpoint of two sides. Okay, mamimili po ako ng two sides dito. Siguro itong AB na lang, saka itong BC. Sila na yung pagdudugtungin ko, yung midpoint nila. Yan. Segment joins two midpoints. Ayan po. Si midpoint na D, saka yung midpoint na E, pinag-join ko. Then, the theorem, yan, state that the two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third and is half as long. Ibig sabihin daw po, itong midline natin sa DE, segment DE, is parallel to AC. Tignan po natin kung magiging parallel po sila. I-extend ko po sila ng line, tapos tignan natin kung magmi-meet sila o hindi. Ayan. Tignan nyo po ito. Since hindi po sila nagmi-meet, ibig sabihin, o hindi sila nag-i-intersect, yung dalawang lane na to, ibig sabihin po yun, hindi po sila, ang ibig sabihin lang, that two lines are parallel to each other. Now, ang second po natin, sabi doon, is half as long. Ibig sabihin, ito pong midline natin, is kalahati lang ng ating third side. O yung AC, kalahati lang ng AC, yung DE. Now, paano natin malalaman yun? Kunin po natin yung distance nito. From D to E, ang distance niya is 2.9. Yan. This is 2.9. And then, kunin din po natin yung distance from A to C. That is 5.8. Ibig sabihin po, kalahati lang ng AC ang DE. Di ba po? That is half. Okay, tignan po natin kung mag-iiba ba siya, kung mag-intersect ba sila, pag iniba ko yung posisyon ng aking triangle. For example, ilalagay ko dito yung triangle. Yan. Tignan nyo po ito. Iniba ko po yung posisyon ng triangle, but still, yung ating pong midline and the third side are parallel to each other. And then, yung ating distance from D to E is kalahati pa din ng A to C. Yan. The segment DE is half as long as our third side. Ayun po ang ibig sabihin nun. Kahit po anong klase, kahit gaano pa po siya kaliit, for example, liitan pa natin, gawin natin siyang 1. Yan. Tignan nyo po. Kahit po liitan pa natin yung triangle natin, nipisan natin, or gawin po natin sobrang liit lang ng triangle. Yan. Ganun pa din po. The midline is half as long as their third side. Di ba po? Tapos, at the same time, hindi po nagmi-meet yung midline and the third side. Tingnan niyo po. Yan. Ganyan po magiging itsura. Kahit gano'n po siya kaliit. Yan. Sobrang liit na po ng ating triangle. Pero ganun pa din po. Kalahati pa din yung midline ng ating third side. Yan. Di ba po? Hindi po siya nagbabago. Kahit ito pong nasa taas ang natin, ibahin natin. Yan. Mapapansin nyo, hindi pa rin po nagbabago ang ating sukat. Ganun pa din po. Di ba? Yan po. Nakita na natin yung theorem in yan. We already proved the triangle midline theorem using GeoGebra. Next, ang gagawin naman po natin ngayon, i-apply na natin itong triangle midline theorem sa example. Yan po. Example number 1. Triangle PSG. Yan. segment AI cuts PS and GS at their midpoint. Nagsabihin, si point A and point I are midpoints. And then the segment joining point A and point I are the midline. Then, this is the questions. If segment AI is 48 cm, find segment PG. Letter B, if segment PG is equal to 2x plus 8 and segment AI is equal to 11, what is x? Letter C, if segment AI is equal to 3x minus 4, find segment PG and segment PG is 5x plus 1, find the length of segment AI and segment PG. Now, this is the formula. AI is equal to 1 half PG. Okay, bakit po naging ganyan yung formula natin? Dahil po yun dito sa theorem na ito. Yung kaninang pinaliwanag natin using the GeoGebra. Sabi po kasi dito, the triangle midline theorem state that the segment that joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is half as long. Ibig sabihin po, kalahati lang ng third side ang ating midline. Triangle midline. Yan po. Kalahati lang daw na itong PG ang ating AI. Kanina po, napaliwanag na rin naman natin yun using GeoGebra. So, ngayon po isolve na natin by substituting the following given. Segment AI is equal to 48 cm. Ito po. Now, since dito po, I'm going to multiply both side by 2 para po mawala yung denominator natin dito. Yan. 2 times 48 is 96. Then, 1 half times 2 is equal to 1 PG. Or invisible na po yung 1. Then, that is the final answer. Letter B. The same formula lang po. And then, substitute lang po natin yung given sa letter B. Segment AI is equal to 11. Ito po yan. Then, segment PG is equal to 2x plus 8. Ito po yan. Yan. And then, ang ginawa ko po kasi dito, since yung 2 and 8 are divisible by 2, I'm going to multiply yung 1 half sa loob ng parenthesis. I'm going to distribute 1 half sa loob ng parenthesis. Then, and po, 1 half times 2x is simply as x. 1 half times 8 is 4. Tanong, is that the final answer? Hindi pa po. Kasi, may katabi pa yung x natin, which is yung positive 4. Since x lang naman yung hinahanap, dapat naka-isolate lang yung 8 either sa left side or sa right side ng ating equation. Since dito po, para po ma-isolate natin yung x, I'm going to use the addition property of equality, which is I'm going to deduct negative 4 both sides. 11 minus 4 is equal to x plus 4 minus 4. Then simplify. That is 11 minus 4 is equal to 7. And then x plus 4 minus 4 is equal to x. Then that is the final answer na. Kasi x lang naman po yung hinahanap. Next. Letter C. The same process pa din po. O the same formula. Then, substitute the following given. Now, kanina, minultiply ko po yung 1 half dito sa loob ng aking parenthesis. Ngayon, hindi na. Kasi po, hindi naman divisible sa 2 yung 5. At the same time, hindi din naman divisible yung 1. Kaya ang gagawin ko po, katulad ng una kong ginawa sa letter A, example, I'm going to multiply all of my terms into 2. Then, multiply po natin. 2 times 3x, then 2 times negative 4. That is positive 6x minus 8. Then, 1 half times 2 is equal to 1. 1 times 5x is 5x. 1 times 1 is 1. Then, using transposition, magiging 6x minus 5x is equal to 1 plus 8. Okay, saan po galing ito? Dito po yon, transpose. From positive magiging negative. Ito namang negative 8 magiging positive 8. Then, combine like terms. That is x plus 9. Yan. After po nyan, since hindi pa po yan yung final answer natin, kasi hindi naman po yan yung tinatanong. Ang tinatanong is find the length of segment AI and segment PG. Para po makuha natin yon, I'm going to substitute the value of x. I'm going to substitute the value of x doon sa ating given. Since ang given natin dito, segment AI is equal to 3x minus 4. Sa PG naman, segment PG is equal to 5x plus 1. And then, substitute lang po yung nakuha nating value ng x. Magiging ganyan. 3 times 9 minus 4. Sa kabila noon, 5 times 9 plus 1. 27 minus 4. Sa kabila, 45 plus 1. Then, the final answer is segment AI is equal to 23. Then, segment PG is equal to 46. Kung mapapansin nyo, ganun pa din. Kalahati pa din ng PG ang ating AI. Ayun po. Ayun po ang example natin tungkol sa triangle midline theorem. Next. Next naman po natin, it's all about trapezoid. Now, then what is trapezoid? Trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. The parallel sides of a trapezoid are called bases, while the non-parallel side are called legs. The angle formed by the base and the leg is called base angle. Now, and po, BC, segment BC, and segment AD are bases. Because, since ito po, kung mapapansin niyo itong mga arrowhead na to, sinisignifies po niyan that they are parallel lines. Ayan po. And then, AB naman, AB and CD are legs because they are the non-parallel side natin. Then, angle B, ito po, angle B and angle C are base angle with respect to the base BC. Then, angle A and angle D are the base angle with respect to the base AD. Ayan po. Ayan po ang ating trapezoid. Lagi po natin tatandaan yan na pag trapezoid, exactly one pair of parallel side. Ito po. Ito po yung one pair natin ng parallel side. Yung side BC and side AD. Now, ito po, the diagonal. A diagonal is a segment joins two non-adjacent vertices of trapezoid. Yan. Ito po yung non-adjacent natin, which is the B and the D. Then, C, segment CA. Yan. Moreover, the median or mid-segment is the segment that joins or that connects the midpoints of two legs of the trapezoid. Yan. Ibig sabihin po, si M, si point M dito, at saka si point S are the midpoints of our trapezoid. And then, pag pinag-connect po natin yon, that is our median or mid-segment. Ayan. Ito po sabi ko kanina, segment BD and segment CA are the diagonals. Then, segment MS is the median or mid-segment. Ayan. Mid-segment theorem of trapezoid. The median or mid-segment of a trapezoid is parallel to each of the bases and its length is half the sum of the length of the two bases. Yan, ganito po. Ibig sabihin daw, this median or mid-segment is parallel to BC and parallel to AD. And then, for us to get the median, we need to add the two bases times 1/2. Now, let's try to illustrate this on GeoGebra again. Para po makita natin na parallel sila at the same time yung sukat ng ating median. Yan. Gawin po muna natin. Erase muna natin to. Ayan po. And then, gagawa po tayo ng polygon, which is trapezoid. Kailangan, yung dalawang base ng ating polygon are parallel to each other. Para maging trapezoid siya. Okay. Gawin natin ganito. Oops. Ayan. Dapat lang po, sabi lang naman doon, exactly one pair of our trapezoid of our base are parallel. Yan. Tignan po natin kung magiging parallel ang ating two sides. Extend ulit natin. Yan. Mapapansin nyo po. Yan, tignan natin. Yung ating side AD and side BC are parallel to each other. Parallel. And then, tignan po natin yung AB, side AB, and side DC. Yan. Mapapansin nyo po, yung side AB natin and side DC intersect. Dito po, nag-intersect sila sa may taas. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila parallel line. Yan. Pag sabi po kasi natin trapezoid, exactly one pair of parallel side. Ayan. Since meron tayong trapezoid dito, ang sunod po natin gagawin ay kukunin po natin yung midpoint ng ating legs. Since AD and BC are the bases, sabihin si AB and DC are the legs. And then, we're going to connect E to F. Now, these are median or mid-segment. Ang sabi po sa ating theorem, yan, the mid-segment of a trapezoid is parallel to each of the bases. Ibig sabihin daw, si EF is parallel to AD and EF is parallel to BC. Yan, move po natin. Then, extend natin ng line yung EF. Tignan nyo po Okay, tignan nyo po yung tatlong line kung magi-intersect sila. Ayan. Kahit gaano po natin i-zoom out ito, hindi po magmi-meet o magi-intersect yung tatlong line na to because they are parallel. Ibig sabihin po, si EF is parallel to AD and EF is parallel to C. Kaya kahit ibahin po natin yung posisyon nung nasa taas. Ayan. Mapapansin nyo po. Or i-extend po natin siya as long as po na magiging parallel yung bases natin. That is trapezoid. Yan. Ganun pa din po. Parallel po din sila. And then, sabi dito, the length of our median is half the sum of the length of two bases. Kunin po muna natin yung length ng ating bases, which is AD and BC. The segment AD and the segment BC. Now, kung papansin po natin yun, BC is 10 and the segment AD is 6. Dapat daw pag pinag-add ko yan and then times sa 1/2, ang magiging sagot is yung EF. Subukan po natin i-add. 10 plus 6 is 16. 16 times 1/2 is 8. Dapat po, ang magiging length ng EF ko is 8. Tignan po natin. Yan. Yan po. The EF is equal to 1/2. Yan. Kahit baguhin po natin yung posisyon, basta kailangan lang po, yan, kailangan po, trapezoid pa din siya. Kailangan yung dalawang bases natin or dalawang side natin are parallel. Kahit po gaano pa siya kaliit lang, basta mag-parallel lang po siya. Yan. Kahit ibahin po natin, tapos sobrang lakihan natin yung nasa baba. Ganun pa din po. Because 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 times 1/2 is 10. Di ba po? Yung ating mid-segment or tama po yung ating formula na median is equal to 1/2 times the two bases. The sum of the two bases. Yan. Yan po yung trapezoid natin. Ganyan po. Di ba po? 24 plus 4 is 28. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Kahit ilagay po natin yan dito or ilagay natin sa gitna. Ganyan. Yan. Di ba po? Ganun pa din po. I-add lang. Median is 1/2 the sum of two bases. And po. Ayan po yung illustration ng ating theorem sa segment of a trapezoid. Now, let's have an example. Yan, example number 2. Given trapezoid SAMR with median segment HI. Questions. A. If segment AM is equal to 5 and segment SR is equal to 13, what is HI? Yan, sagutan na po muna natin yung letter A. Letter A, katulad po na discuss natin kanina, that the median is equal to 1/2 times the sum of the two bases. Since dito po sa illustration natin sa left side, palitan na po natin yan. The median is the segment HI and the base sub 1 is the segment AM and the base sub 2 is segment SR. Pwede naman po yun ma-interchange, no? Pwedeng si base sub 1 is the segment SR and the base sub 2 is the segment AM. Pwede naman po yun. Kahit pagpalitin natin, okay lang. Wala naman pong difference. Now, ang gagawin naman po natin ngayon, we're going to substitute the given AM is equal to 5, segment AM is equal to 5, and segment SR is equal to 13. Yan. Then, simplify. 5 plus 13 is 18. And then, 18 times 1/2 is 9. Sabihin po, the length of HI is 9. Letter B. If the segment AM is x plus 2 and the segment SR is equal to 10 and segment HI is equal to 8, what is x? We're going to solve for the value of x. Yan po. The same formula pa rin po tayo. And pag sinulat po natin yan, parang ganito po ang kalalabasan niya. We have the segment AM is equal to X plus 2. And then SR, segment SR is 10. And then the HI is 8. Then we're going to find for the value of X. Then the same formula pa din. Median is equal to 1/2 times the sum of the two bases. Now, ganun po, ilalagay lang natin o isa-substitute natin yung median as HI. Base of 1 is the segment AM and base of 2 is the segment SR. Substitute the following values. HI is equal to 8. Segment AM is equal to X plus 2 and the segment SR is equal to 10. Then, ang una po natin gagawin dito is to simplify yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. X plus 2 plus 10 is X plus 12. Yan, ito po yun. X plus 12. And then, multiply both side by 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Ito po. And then, 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 times X is X. 1 times 12 is 12. Yan. And then, using the addition property of equality, magma-minus ako both side by 12. 16 minus 12 is equal to X plus 12 minus 12. Then, simplify lang po. 4 is equal to X or X is equal to 4. And then, nakuha na po natin yung final answer. Sunod po natin is the letter C. Now, clear po muna natin to. Yan. Sulat din natin itong given sa letter C. Sabi dito, segment AM is 2y minus 5. SR is equal to y plus 8. And HI is 15. Ayan. The same process pa din po, or the same formula. We have the median is equal to 1/2 times the sum of two bases. Ayan. The same. Substitute lang po natin yung given. Ayan. 15 is equal to 1/2 times the quantity of 2y minus 5 plus the quantity of y plus 8. Yan. First thing to do is to simplify yung nasa loob ng bracket. Ito po. 2y plus y is 3y. Negative 5 plus positive 8 is 3y. Ito po yun. And then, multiply both side by 2. 2 times 15 and 2 times 1/2. 2 times 15 is 30. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 plus 1 times 3y is 3y. 1 times 3 is 3. Then, by addition property of equality ulit, I'm going to minus both side by 3. Okay, bakit po ako nagma-minus? Kasi positive 3 po ito. Kailangan ko makuha yung additive inverse niya. Yan. This is 30 minus 3 is 27. 3y plus 3 minus 3 is 3y. Then, divide both side by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9 is equal to y. Now, since alam na po natin ang pag-solve kay median, ang sunod po natin is yung isang klase pa ng trapezoid, which is isosceles trapezoid. Ngayon po, alamin natin ang definition ng isosceles trapezoid. Okay, this is the illustration for isosceles trapezoid. Katulad po ng ng isosceles triangle. The legs of isosceles triangle are congruent. Ganon din po sa isosceles trapezoid. The legs of isosceles trapezoids are congruent. Ayan. Kaya si AB, ayan, si segment AB at si segment BC or CB are congruent. Now, there is a special type of trapezoid in which two pairs of its angle are congruent, the isosceles trapezoid. An isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid in which the legs are congruent and the base angle are congruent. Ayan po, katulad ng sabi ko kanina, the legs of isosceles trapezoids are congruent. Ayan. Tapos yung base angle po niya, itong lagyan po natin ng tanda. With respect to the base AB, ito po nasa baba, angle A is congruent to angle B. With respect to the base DC, base DC, angle D is congruent to angle C. Ganyan po. Now, theorems related to isosceles trapezoid. And number 1, the base angle of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Number 2, opposite angle of an isosceles trapezoid are supplementary. Third, the diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Now, tignan po ulit natin sa GeoGebra yung ating theorems related to trapezoid. Yan po. Punta muna tayo sa GeoGebra. Yan. I have here a trapezoid. Pero gagawin ko po siyang isosceles trapezoid. Burahin po natin yung mga sukat. Yan. Ay, burahin na din natin itong segment. Mid-segment. Ayan. And then, gagawin ko po siyang isosceles trapezoid. Sabi doon, the two bases are parallel at the same time, the two legs are congruent para po maging isosceles trapezoid siya. Yan. Sa tingin ko po isosceles trapezoid na to. Lakayan na lang natin konti. Ayan po. Okay. Tignan natin kung isosceles trapezoid na siya. Yung base angle naman, yung base natin, the segment AD and the segment BC are parallel to each other. And then, tignan natin kung magiging isosceles triangle siya. Ay, isosceles trapezoid. Leg AB is 7.2 ang kanyang length. Ang length naman ng leg DC is 7.2. Ayan. They are equal or congruent. So, this trapezoid is isosceles trapezoid. Now, balik po tayo dito. Theorem, base angle of isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Tignan po natin. With respect to base AD, tignan po natin kung magiging congruent ba si angle A and angle D. Yan. Sabi po dito, 123.7 yung angle A and angle D is 123.7. Then the base angle with respect to the base AD, they are congruent. Tignan mo naman po natin. The base angle with respect to the base BC, tignan natin kung magiging congruent sila. That is 56.3. Si angle B, angle C naman is 56.3 also. So, they are congruent. Ayan po. Ayan po yung unang theorem natin. Pangalawang theorem, opposite angle of an isosceles trapezoid are supplementary. Ayan. Nakikita na po natin yan dito. Pag pinag-add ko daw po yung opposite angle natin, the sum is 180. 123.7 plus 56.3 is 180. So, they are supplementary. The opposite angle of isosceles trapezoid are supplementary. Ayan po. And then, next natin, lagyan natin ng diagonal. Lagyan po natin ng segment AC. Gawin natin hidden line. Para po hindi siya masyadong nakaano. Tapos, yung segment BD, gawin din natin hidden line. Ayan. Ayan po. Sabi dito, the diagonals of isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Sabihin daw po, yung diagonals natin is equal in measure. So, kukunin din po natin yung length niya. Diagonal BD is 11.7. Diagonal AC is 11.7. Ayan po. Ibig sabihin, the diagonals of isosceles trapezoid are congruent or equal in measures. Yan. Tignan po natin na ibahin po natin yung form ng ating isosceles trapezoid. As long as pag iniba natin siya, dapat yung base natin are parallel and the legs are congruent. Yan. Kahit po nipisan natin to, habaan natin to. Yan. Ganun pa din po. Yung ating diagonals are equal. Tapos, ang ating base angle is also equal. And then, the opposite angles are supplementary. Ayan po. That is the theorem related to isosceles trapezoid. Next. Ayan. Nagbigay na po tayo ng example related to the theorems on isosceles trapezoid. Yan. Given, trapezoid MATH is isosceles trapezoid. Yan. Letter A. If the measure of angle AMH is equal to 75, what is the measure of angle THM? Yan. Letter A. Lagyan po natin ng sign. Angle AMH. Ito po yun. Then, 75 degrees daw po siya. Yan. Nakalimutan ko lang po lagyan ng degrees. Lagyan natin ng degrees dito. Yan. Then, what is the measure of the angle THM? THM. Ito po yung hinahanap natin. Ayan. Now, since sabi kasi sa theorem, the base angle of isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Since ang base angle natin dito, with respect to base HM, they are congruent to each other. Kaya, kung ang measure ng angle AMH is 75, the measure of angle THM is also 75 degrees. Yan po. Letter B. If the measure of angle A is 100, yan po. Burahin muna natin yung nasulat. Yan. If the measure of angle A is 100, itong angle A daw po is 100 degrees, then, and the measure of angle T is 3x plus 10. This is 3x plus 10. What is x? Yan. Katulad po kanina, angle A and angle T are the base angle with respect to AT. So, they are congruent. Yan. Kapag congruent sila, their measure is equal. Then, substitute po natin yung given. That is 100 is equal to 3x plus 10. Then, by addition property of equality, hanapin natin yung additive inverse ng 10. Makakuha tayo negative 10. Kaya po, minus 10 sa kabila, minus 10 din sa right side. 100 minus 10. Then, 3x plus 10 minus 10. Then, simplify. Kakam up tayo sa 90 is equal to 3x. And then, divide both side by 3. That is 30 is equal to x or x is equal to 30. Yun nga po yung nahanap, the value of x. Letter C. The same lang po yung angle na ginamit sa A at saka sa C. So, they are congruent. At alam na natin na they are equal. Now, for us to get the value of x, kailangan po natin gumamit ng transposition. Yan. From positive 4x, magiging negative 4x. From positive 15, naging negative 15. and then simplify. Then, after po natin ma-simplify yon, divide both sides by 5. Then, simplify po ulit. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Then, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Invisible na po yan. Yan, nakuha na po natin yung value ng x, pero hindi po ito yung tinatanong. The question is, what is the measure of angle THM? So, dito po, THM is equal to 4x plus 55. And then, isa-substitute lang po natin yung nakuha nating value ng x doon sa given. Substitute. We have 4 times 8 plus 55. That is 32 plus 55 is equal to 87. The measure of angle THM is equal to 87. Okay. Next. Okay. Yan. Pagdating po kay kite, medyo madami-dami po ito. We have here the definition of kite. Another quadrilateral that is not parallelogram is the kite. A kite is a quadrilateral with two pairs of adjacent sides congruent, and no opposite sides are congruent. In other words, it has two distinct sets of congruent adjacent sides. In the kite ABCD, at the left, the two distinct sets of congruent adjacent sides are AB. Segment AB is congruent to segment BC or CB. And segment AD is congruent to segment DC. And distinct lang po talaga sila. Because dito po sa ating illustration sa left side, AB is congruent to BC. Yan. Two distinct set of congruent adjacent side. Then, CD is congruent to DA. Yan, ganun po. The common vertices of the congruent side of the kite are called ends of the kite. Yan, ito po yun, CB and CD are the ends of the kite. Moreover, the line contains the ends of the kite is the symmetry line of the kite. Ayan po. Pagka ginuwitan po natin to, for example, diretso yung line na magagawa ko. Kunwari lang. Yan. Yan. For example, ayan po. Yung line na yan, mula sa B hanggang D, that is the symmetry line. Yan. Bakit po siya naging symmetry line? Kasi po, hinati niya yung ating kite into same or equal parts. Sabihin, hinati niya yung kites natin sa dalawang same or equal length or areas or triangles. Yan. Ganyan po. Okay. Theorems related to kite. We have seven theorems related to kite. That is the diagonal of the kite or perpendicular line. Yan po. Ang diagonals po ng ating kite ay 90 degrees ang kanyang mga degree. Yan, ito po. This is small squares. Yan po. Nagsisignifies po yan na that is 90 degrees. Kaya perpendicular line po ang kanyang mabubuo. Now, second theorem, it has one pair of opposite angle congruent. Ayan. Based on illustration naman po, mahalata naman natin sa kite that angle B and angle D are not congruent. Kaya one pair lang po talaga ang ating congruent opposite angle. One pair of opposite angles congruent. Yan. Si angle A lang at saka si angle C. Next. It has one diagonal form congruent triangles. Ayan po, ito po yung kanina. Si BD are symmetry line kasi po kinakat niya ang ating kite into two congruent triangles. Si triangle A, DB at saka si triangle D, AB and triangle DCB. Yan, ito pong triangle na to. saka itong triangle na to is congruent triangle. Kasi po, itong diagonal line DB is symmetry line. Now, the area of the kite is half the product of the lengths of its diagonal. Ayan po, mamaya po, itong theorem na to, itong area, ay ipapaliwanag po natin through GeoGebra. Ipapakita po natin yan. Then, the fifth, it has one diagonal that forms two isosceles triangle. Yan, tignan nyo po ito, yung nasa kaliwa. Yung nasa taas na part, di ba po, isosceles triangle siya kasi their legs is congruent. At the same time, yung nasa baba din, itong triangle ABC, tignan nyo po mabuti, yung kanyang legs are congruent, then they are isosceles triangle. And then, ACD is also isosceles triangle kasi po, yung kanyang leg is congruent. Kaya po, yan. Kung isang diagonal natin forms two congruent triangle, yung isang diagonal natin forms two isosceles triangle. Yan po, tanggal muna natin yung sulat. Okay, number 6 na theorem natin. It has one diagonal that bisect a pair of opposite angle. Yan po. Si diagonal BD, binesect daw po niya ang ating angle B into two equal parts. Ito po yun. Mapapansin natin dito. Yan. Angle ABD, oops. Yan po. Angle ABD, ito po, is congruent to angle CBD. Yan. Nakalagay na rin naman po that this is a congruent. And then, ganun din po, angle ADB, ito po yan, is congruent to angle CDB. Yan. Yan. And the last theorem na meron tayo is it has diagonal that bisect other diagonal. It has one diagonal that bisect the other diagonal. Yan. BD is a perpendicular bisector of AC. Yan po. Ibig sabihin, AP is congruent to PC, or the measure of AP is equal to the measure of CP. Ayan po. Ayan po lahat ng theorems related to kite. Now, magbigay po tayo ng example na magagamit natin yung mga theorems related to kite. First, number 1, if AS is equal to 10 inches, if segment AS is 10 inches, nalagyan po natin ng 10 inches. The segment AD is equal to blank. Ito daw pong AD na to, ano daw sukat niya? Since, according to this theorem, it has one diagonal that bisect the other diagonal. Sabihin daw, the segment HN is perpendicular bisector of AD. Then, segment AS is, wala. Okay. Segment AS is congruent to segment DS, or the measure of AS is equal to the measure of DS. Yan po. Kaya pwede kong sabihin that AD is equal to AS plus DS. Yan po. Then, since AS is equal to DS, pwede ko din sabihin na AS plus AS. Then, AS plus AS is 2AS. Then, substitute po natin yung given value for segment AS, that is 10 inches. Then, the final answer is 20 inches. Ibig sabihin po, AD, yung kabuuan nito is 20 inches. Yan po. Okay. Next, number 2. Sa number 2 naman po, if the measure of angle HAN is 108 or 108, then the measure of angle NDH is equal to blank. Okay, nasaan po ba yung HAN? Itong HAN, ito pong kabuuan ng A yun. That is 108 daw po. Then, ang hinahanap natin is NDH or itong kabuuan ng D. Yan, ano daw pong sukat niya? Ayan, ito po yun. Ito po yung theorem na related dito sa tanong. He has one pair of opposite angle congruent. Opposite angles congruent. Ibig sabihin po, si angle A is congruent to angle D. Or, the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle D. Therefore, if the measure of angle HAN is equal to the measure of angle NDH, then the measure of angle HAN is 108, the measure of NDH is equal to 108 also. And po, sabihin, 108 din po ito, since they are congruent. Okay, next one, number 3. Okay, if the measure of angle ANS is equal to 50, yan po, ANS, ito po yun. Yan, this is ANS is equal to 50 degrees. Yan. And then, the measure of AND is blank. Yan po, yung kabuuan daw. Ano daw pong measure ng kabuuan? Yan. Ito po yung ating theorem related to that. It has one diagonal that bisect a pair of opposite angle. Diagonal HN bisect AND, angle AND, and angle AHD. Yan. Yan po. So, pwede ko pong sabihin, yan. Then, since si angle ANS and angle DNS are congruent, magiging equal po sila. Yan. Then, using the given, substitute po natin yung given, magiging 50 plus 50. Then, the measure of A and D is equal to 100. Ganyan po. Number 4. Ayan. Sa number 4 naman po, since the measure of ASN, ito po yun, ASN, this one, yung may square, sabihin po 90 degrees siya, and the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular. Ibig sabihin po, lahat po ng ating nandiyan sa gitna is 90 degrees. Therefore, ang sagot po niyan is also 90 degrees. Number 5. The measure of DHA is equal to 72 degrees. Ang hinahanap natin is the DHN. What is the measure of DHN? Ito po ang hinahanap natin. Ano po kayang measure na itong angle na to? Yan. Katulad po kanina, it has one diagonal that bisects a pair of opposite angles. Yan. Sabihin po, the measure of DHA is equal to the measure of DHN plus the measure of A and A. Yan. Since parehas lang naman po ito ng measure, itong dalawa na to, pwede ko sabihin na the measure of DHN plus DHN. angle DHN. Then, substitute lang po natin yung given, divide both side by 2. Then, 36 is equal to the measure of angle DHN. Okay, number 6, perimeter. Since pagdating naman po sa perimeter, wala naman tayo nabanggit na theorem related to the perimeter. Pero pag nagsasagot po kasi tayo ng perimeter, ina-add lang natin yung lahat ng sides ng ating polygon. Katulad sa triangle, pag nag-add tayo pag kumukuha tayo ng perimeter ng triangle, ina-add lang natin yung 3 side, yung length ng 3 sides. Ganun din po sa kite. I-add lang natin lahat ng sides ng ating kite. Since ang given lang natin is AN is equal to 10, this one, ND, 10 inches, HD is equal to 15 inches. Yan. Since AN and DN is congruent, 10 inches din to. Then, this is also 15 inches. Or, para hindi po tayo mahirapan, palitan na lang natin yan. Since para equal lang naman ang AN, segment AN and DN, pwede kong sabihin na AN plus AN. Si HD is equal to segment AH, pwede din natin sabihin that HD plus HD. Then, substitute lang po natin yung given. 10 plus 10 plus 15 plus 15 is equal to perimeter is equal to 50. Ayan po. Now, ngayon naman po, ang gagawin naman natin is to prove the an area of the kite. Ayan. Gawa po tayo ng kite dito sa ating GeoGebra. Ayan po. Gawa tayo ng kite dito. Create muna tayo ng polygon, which is yung kanyang 2 distinct set of congruent adjacent side. Kailangan po makagawa tayo ng polygon na 2 distinct set of congruent adjacent side. Ayan. Yan. Hindi na siya distinct, no? Yan. Yan. Tignan po natin. Kunin natin yung measures ng ating mga sides. Tignan natin kung magiging congruent po ang side AB kay side DC. And side, AB and BC. Then side CD and side DA kung congruent sila. Para maging kite. Ayan po. Since congruent naman sila, this polygon is kite. Now, ang papatunayan po natin is the theorem on kite, yung sa kanyang area. Sabi sa theorem, the area of the kite is half the product of the length of its diagonal. Yan, kunin po natin yung diagonal niya. Pagdugtungin natin, si AC, lagyan natin ng segment, si BD. And then, kunin natin ang kanilang length. The length of the diagonal AC is 4. Then the length of the diagonal BD is 7. Yan. And then, sabi doon, area is equal to 1/2 times the diagonals. The 2 diagonals. Okay. Pag minultiply ko po ito, 4 times 7 is 28. 28 times 1/2 is 14. Ayan po. Ibig sabihin po, ang area ko is 14. Tignan po natin ngayon kung ang area ng ating kite is 14. Yan. Sabi dito, the area of ABC is 14. Ayan po. Di ba po? Tama po. Ibig sabihin, tama po yung formula ng ating area of the kite. Area of the kite is 1/2. Ulitin ko po The theorem said the area of the kite is half the product of the length of its diagonal. Sabihin, pag minultiply ko, yung kalahati ng product ng aking diagonals, that is the area of the kite. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 times 1/2, that is 14. Okay, tignan po natin. Hibahin po natin ang dapat pares lang. Yan. Yan. Kahit iniiba ko po siya, yung length ng aking kite, ganun pa din po. Ganun pa din po yung area niya. Because 7 times 8 is 56. 56 divided by 2 is 28. Yan po. Subukan po natin ibahin ulit. Yan. Sabaan natin yung nasa baba. Yan. That is 11 times 8 is 88 times 1/2, that is 44. Di ba po? Yan. Na-prove na po natin yung theorem on the area of the kite. Next. Ngayon naman po, magbigay na tayo ng example related to the area of the kite. Yan po. Quadrilateral PLAY is a kite. Yan. The question is, number 1, if segment PA is 12 cm and the segment LI is equal to 6 cm, what is the area? Yan. Number 1, according to our theorem, the area of the kite is half the product of the lengths of its diagonal. Area is equal to 1/2 times the quantity of 1/2 times d sub 1 times d sub 2. Yan. According to our illustration, the area is equal to 1/2 times the segment LI times the segment PA. Yan po. Using this formula, substitute lang po natin yung ating given sa number 1. Ayan. Magiging 1/2 times 6 times 12, that is 36 cm squared. The area is 36 cm squared if segment PA or the diagonal PA is 12 and diagonal LY is 6 cm. Okay, number 2. The same formula lang po. Pero sa number 2, ang given natin is the area of the kite PLAY is equal to 135 meters squared and the diagonal LY is equal to 9 meter. Ang hinahanap po natin is the length of the PA, segment PA. Yan. First is to multiply both sides by 2. After po natin i-substitute yung given values natin, yung multiply po natin by 2. Then, 135 times 2 is 270. Then, 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 times 9 times PA is 9 PA. And then, divide both sides by 9. The answer is 30 is equal to PA. Then, PA is equal to, the diagonal PA is equal to 30 meters. Okay. Number 3. The same lang, almost the same lang. Area po ang given and the diagonal PA. Ang hinahanap naman po is the diagonal LI. Okay. Now, gagawin po natin ulit. To multiply both sides by 2. That is 96 times 2 is 192. And then 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 times LY times 8 is 8 LY. And then divide both sides by 8. That is 24 is equal to the diagonal LY. Then diagonal LY is equal to 24 centimeter. And po, diyan na po nagtatapos ang topic natin for the third quarter, week 3 ng ating CLAID module. Ulitin ko po Maraming salamat po sa mga nakinig at nag-stay po hanggang sa dulo. Maraming salamat po.